Hello, friends. It's been a while, hasn't it? I know. I said I was going to make a lot more videos, and I still intend to do that, and I intended to do that then. But let me tell you what's been going down around here. It's been crazy. Crazy. First of all, I got sick. It wasn't bad. I was really mild. I had a low fever, and I was nauseous, and I was extremely tired. And I spent about a week like that. That was it. I could still eat, but I was nauseous, so I wasn't eating much. I did do a lot of sleeping though. So I did all that and got through that. And then we got a snowstorm. Well, more of an ice cold temperatures, not so much a snowstorm, freezing cold. So what happened? Well, even though we had a heat light on our pipes froze. That's okay. They thawed. I was able to open up the cupboards, get a space heater facing toward them. The little trickle of water I did have, I had that going. Took several hours, but by the next morning, it was thawed. Perfect. And then about a week after that, the exhaust pipe to the furnace, which is on right now, by the way, to the furnace also froze. And our furnace has a safety feature that if that happens, it shuts down, carbon monoxide. So, we don't all die. That is a good thing. However, that meant we had no heat and it was freezing in here. We rent, so we called our landlord. That was one of the first things I thought of. I changed the battery in the thermostat. It kicked on, then shut off, and it just would not stay on. The filter, changed that still. So we called our landlord. He came, he put a salamander on it, thawed it, and voila, we had heat. I really feel for him because it was really cold that night. And he did not bring a coat. So we got that fixed. Perfect. Then guys, I'm not kidding. It's been crazy around here. Then my car, we were supposed to go to Indy, which is our state's capital. We were supposed to go there for my eye injections. That's about a 3-hour drive for me, give or take. And we were all loading in the car. We were taking our daughter with us because she had a delay, which meant she could not go to school and us go there and get back in time for her. So, or even get her on the bus with the delay. So we were going to take her with us. We all get everything out to the car. We go to get in the car, and I notice I have one very flat tire. No problem. Later that day, I rescheduled my appointment, obviously, for the following week. But later that day, because we were leaving super early, later that day when our neighbor got up, my hubby went over and asked him if he could borrow his air pump to put air in the tire. Would not hold air. And my husband does not have the jack here. And it was freezing cold too. We're talking really below zero. So we had to call a tow truck and have it towed to the place we were having it repaired. The place we were having it repaired is the place that sent the tow truck. So all said and done, my brand new tire and the tow, over $350 for one tire, a tow, and labor. Ouch, that hurt, but okay. I need my car, gotta have it. It's important. So I don't drive my car very much. If I do drive my car, it's maybe a couple blocks away to the bus stop and back to drop off and pick my daughter up. And that's only twice a week because the rest of the time my husband does it. So the first time I got in my car, I noticed something was different. And I remember making the comment to my daughter, I think they put the wrong size tire on the car. I didn't think anything else of it. So we're driving to Indy for my eye injections, the rescheduled appointment. And let's backtrack for a minute. For those of you who may be new and don't know, when my daughter was 1, she had just turned 1, like 9 days before, my vehicle got totaled and I actually got hit by a truck when I was out of my car. So it took me a very long time to mentally get through that. And if I'm being honest, I'm not quite all the way through it yet. Every once in a while, things like this will slip in. So I'm driving because I always drive there. And if I could, y'all, I would drive back, because since that happened, I feel better if I'm in control. But I digress. I can't. Well, legally, I could drive with my eyes dilated, but I'm smarter than that, and I would not do that. So I don't. And when I get my eye injections, they dilate them every single time. So we're driving to Indy, and it's raining, and it's lower temperatures, but not quite freezing. And I've got to keep telling myself there's water on the road. It's not frozen. Okay, I'm doing okay. It's foggy, not helping. It's dark, not helping. I normally will not drive in the dark because it's harder for me to see, and the headlights blind me because of my vision issues. So typically I wouldn't even consider doing that, but I did this time because I'm a control freak. Ever since then, y'all, ever since then. But anyway, we're driving and I get this feeling like I'm sliding, like the back of the car is sliding and the front of the car is going the other way. And I started getting that after I had gotten hit by that truck. And it comes and goes, but it hasn't happened in years. And I was feeling that. And so I started panicking because it brings on anxiety for me. And I'm not really someone who has anxiety issues, but I do with this. So I told my husband, I feel like I'm sliding. I know I'm not, but it's making me anxious. Talk me through it. So he's like, it's too warm to slide. It's not sliding. It's just you thinking it is. You're okay. You're fine. Okay, great. Get past that. I'm fine. Then I feel like my car just kind of throws me. And he's like, no, it didn't. I'm like, yeah, it did. He's like, no, it's just all in your head. No, it's not all in my head. I just feel like it threw me. And I felt like that before when I drove my daughter to the bus stop. I remembered that. And I was telling him then that I think that they put the wrong size tire on. And so we get to my eye appointment. Everything goes great. My right eye, it's the worst of the two. He doesn't really treat it anymore. I suppose if the swelling got really bad, he would, but it's been holding steady. My left eye is the good one, and he wants to keep as much vision in that as possible. And the swelling was better, but there was still some swelling. So he gave me an injection in that eye. But other than that, that went great. And we start leaving. My husband's driving. And y'all, my husband doesn't listen to me. He just doesn't. God bless him. And if I tell him something's wrong, he just dismisses it. Like, I think he just assumes it's the anxiety. But more than not, it proves to be a valid issue. So my car starts making a funny noise. And it feels and sounds like it's coming from the new tire. And if you all remember, a while back when I was going to Indy for my eye injections, on our way, the lug nuts blew off my front driver's side tire. And it was making the same kind of sound. But it kind of sounded like a helicopter. So I'm like, maybe it's a wheel bearing or, something like that. Because it's a brand new tire. We just had it done literally less than a week ago. So we're on our way home. It's really foggy. We've been taking the back roads because I'm less anxious with those. It's a more relaxing drive for both of us. So we've been doing that anyway. And we did that this time because there was no ice on the road. It was just raining and foggy. It was an icky day. We were already going slower because of the fog. And the car started making the same kind of noise that it made when my lug nuts went off. And he's just dismissing it. He's not listening. And I'm like, no, seriously, find a safe place, pull over, check the lug nuts. So he finally listened. He pulled over. He got out of the car, checked the air in all the tires. He checked the lug nuts with his hand because we didn't have the lug nut tool with us. Y'all, always carry one of those in your car. Always carry one of those in your car. If you don't have one, go get one. Walmart has them for like $14. Go get one, seriously. But I digress again. So he's like, no, they feel tight to me and all the tires have air. I'm like, well, something isn't right. So we're driving down the road and it's continuing and it'll go away and then it'll come back. I'm like, maybe it's the road. No, it's not the road. We're on a different stretch of pavement now, still doing it. We're getting a little further. We're probably about 20 minutes from home. And I hear a sound. I said, that was not good. You need to slow down like right now and pull over. So no sooner than he slows down than all the lug nuts are off. And so is that tire. My brand new tire. Fortunately, we were safe. We didn't flip the car or roll the car or anything like that. The car rested on the tire, so we weren't chasing a tire. Our tire was still good. We just had no lug nuts. So it was foggy. And even though we took a back road, traffic was flying, including semis, and we're in a breakdown lane. There's not much space. So we called the police. We told them we weren't safe. It was really foggy. Traffic was flying. And because we were in an unknown area, we didn't know what record to call. But we needed one because we didn't have the tool, y'all. We did not have the tool. So we called the record. The police showed up first. And they checked it out. They talked to us. They ran his license. And they asked him how fast he was going. And we weren't going very fast at all at that point. Because I'm telling you, I know these things. I had that feeling. I just knew we needed to slow down. And thankfully he listened because that noise got a lot worse. I don't think he would have listened if it didn't. But we were going slower. And I think that's why we were safe. I was just praying, please don't let us flip the car. Please don't let us end up in the field. It was scary. It was the scariest ride. I was immediately anxious. Immediately. I was very stressed, very, very anxious, just overwhelmed. And I know the police could sense that. So they were very nice, very nice. They stayed behind us until the record till actually we left. But they kept their lights on to protect us and the record driver. The record driver was able to actually jack up our car and then lift the front up with his truck. Y'all, I was in that car. Like, mentally, I was not okay with that. Like, I just like, should we get out? Like, should I get out? Because everything was stressing me out. At that point, my anxiety through the roof. And I'm just trying to calm myself down. But he took some lug nuts off the other tires to pop on. Y'all, if you ever end up in that situation, take a lug nut off each tire and put one on. My dad always told us that too. So that's what he did, and he got us back on the road, and he told us, listen, this isn't safe. Don't go over 45, 50 miles an hour. So me, I'm like, don't go over 40, right? Because I'm stressing, I'm anxious. Fortunately, because neither one of my brothers could come get us. They were at work. Fortunately, my mom had picked up my daughter in case we didn't get back in time. So glad I did that. We got my daughter a cell phone with minutes for her birthday. And she takes it to school with her, but she can't have it in school. You know, it's kind of off and in her locker, locked away. But when she gets on the bus or gets in the car, then she gets on it. I'm so glad we did that. Because she was able, because of the Find My iPhone app, and we're family, we can locate each other. She was able to locate us and guide my mom to us. I'm telling y'all, my mom would not have been able to do that had my daughter not been able to do that and know how to do that. Thankful for that, because when we met up with them, I got out of our car and I got into my mom's because I just could not take it anymore. I didn't feel safe at all. So we got home because we were only 20 minutes away from home. We got home. My husband called him up and he took it in and they paid for the record bill. They gave us a little extra for that. They paid for that. And he said, we have a guy in the back. What we thought he said was this happened to somebody else. And I was very upset because if he knew this happened to somebody else, why would he not call us knowing that they worked on our tires to say, hey, bring that in. We're going to double check that. So I was angry at that point. But that was a misunderstanding. What he meant to say or was saying that was relayed to me wrong from my husband was that there was a vehicle in the back. Same issue. They had a faulty gun. And this faulty tool. And this faulty tool was used on my tire. And that was because my tire was done outside instead of inside because my tire was really flat. And they didn't want to ruin the rim. Nobody double checked this guy's work. And supposedly he was a new guy. 2.5 months new. And nobody double checked it. So that happened. And he is like, okay, we're going to replace the lug nuts that are missing. And, you know, we're going to check it out. He replaced the lug nuts. He got under there. It broke the studs when it happened. So he replaced the studs. And then he noticed that they indeed did put the wrong size tire on my car. It is not good to have 2 different size tires on your front axle. So my husband calls me up and he tells me what happened. And he tells me that they don't want to replace the tire. We're just going to have to live with it lopsided. I said, oh, no, we're not. No. And I was angry, immediately angry. And I will say, I did lose my Christianity for a moment. And I did tell him what I thought. I didn't swear, but I did raise my voice. And I did let him know he should be throwing tires at us right now. But I wanted the right size tire put on there. What happened was when they ordered our tire, because they had to order it, they ordered the tire that is spec for our car. Not the tire that was already on our car, like the other 3. Even though our car was in front of them. So what I wanted him to do was replace that tire that he just put on for the right size tire. For some reason, he didn't want to do that. Instead, he bought us another tire that he paid for the other side of the car. Okay. I appreciate that. But we were in need of tires. So He told us the back one was really not safe and that the one side needed replaced. Well, we knew we needed tires. We've been wanting to get tires. So we went ahead and got 2 back tires from him, which we paid for. But he did not charge us any labor on it. And he did not charge us for aligning the car. He genuinely felt bad that this happened. But I didn't think he did when I started talking to him. And I was very upset. And we could have died, you guys. We could have died. We could have left our daughter an orphan. We could have died. She could have been in that car with us, and she could have died. Anybody on that road with us could have gotten in a wreck, could have died, could have been paralyzed, could have had head trauma, a broken window from the lug nuts. Anything could have happened because of that mistake. Like, it's a serious mistake. And y'all, this is why I pray before we go anywhere in my car or any vehicle, really. I do. I pray protection. I pray protection over my daughter on the bus at school. I pray, and this is why. Fortunately, we were fine. But my concern is this happened to me. This happened to another person in his shop. Fortunately, they caught it before it left. But did it happen to anybody else? Could it happen to anybody else? Like, I'm more concerned that this doesn't ever happen again. Because somebody could die. You could kill somebody. It's that important. And it took a lot of convincing for me to even let him put back tires on my car. And truth be told, I took it to my brother's yesterday and I had him check it out. My axle was a little bit loose. He tightened that up. Said it was just a little loose. One of the lug nuts on the one back tire was a little loose. Everything else was tight. Everything else was balanced because my brother knows how to do that. And I need brakes really bad on the front of my car, which is why I was hearing noises and scared out of my mind when we were coming back from my daughter's doctor's appointment yesterday. It's any little noise, y'all, any little noise. If my daughter hit something and made a noise in the car, I would be jumpy. Potholes, I'm jumpy. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how unsafe I felt in my own vehicle until after my brother looked at my car. Like, I trust him. You know what I'm saying? But I do need brakes. My brother's going to do that. But when they did the alignment, I apparently also need a harmonious balancer, which is apparently something that goes on the engine. And if it isn't fixed, it could leave me sit. So it's something I need to get placed or replaced. Parts and labor with this person is $400. This is unfortunately something my brother cannot do. So I am going to have to find some place to take it that I trust and feel safe with and get that done. I cannot take it to this guy. He tried to make it right, but unfortunately, he can fix the tires and fix the studs, but he cannot fix what happened to me mentally. And I am dealing with things I haven't dealt with for years because of this. Both the policeman and the tow truck driver asked us if we recently had work done. And we said yes, it was that tire. And they both asked us where. Like, the tow truck driver's like, they didn't tighten your lug nuts. Sometimes it happens, he goes, but it shouldn't. So he wrote us a receipt so that we could give it to them too, or to our insurance to file a claim. We did not file a claim. Any body damage, my brother can do. And he checked that out. He said it wasn't bad. It'd be fine. I don't have a brand new car, y'all. We never do. We usually try to pay cash and run it to death. Like, I don't like car payments. So, yeah, there's that. But we're safe. We're fine. My car is a lot safer, but I do need to still get the brakes done, which my brother's going to do for me this weekend. And then I need to get the harmonious balancer or whatever replaced as soon as I can, because I don't want to be left sitting on the side of the road, and I don't want to risk that happening when I go get my injections. So, that being said, it's been crazy. And that's where I've been. That's why there haven't been videos, because it's been one thing after the other, after the other, after the other that I'm dealing with. I did do a couple of videos on my other channel. That was about it. It's just been crazy. So let's talk about carnivore, what I'm eating. I'm not eating carnivore right now. I'm not eating keto right now, but I'm trying to. The plan is to start at least keto when I wake up in the morning. And to give you an idea, it's 1:01 a.m. right now. I'm a night owl. But when I wake up, the plan is to start at least keto and push to carnivore, because I like keto. I like the sauces, the sugar-free sauces, and I like veggies. So even when I head more toward carnivore, at least from time to time, I'm probably still going to have those things. Occasionally, especially veggies, because I love veggies and I don't subscribe to them trying to kill me. I think starchy ones are not so good for me. But there are going to be those times that I make exceptions, because my exceptions would be far better than the sad diet that I've been consuming. Now, funny enough, I have not really gained any weight at all. I haven't really lost any, but I haven't really gained any either. I can tell when I'm swollen and I look like I've gained a lot, and the scale will go up from the fluid. I hadn't taken my water pills for a few days, and I took them, and the next morning I was down almost 13 pounds. So I definitely retain fluid a lot, and the carbs don't help with that at all. So my goal is to get as close to carnivore as I can and keto when I'm not. There will be veggies in my life, always. I at least at this moment, I cannot see that going. There will probably always be sugar-free ketchup or sugar-free barbecue sauce from time to time. I like those things. And they make doing this easier. And at least for now, they don't affect me negatively. They don't kick me out of ketosis. Although I haven't been in ketosis for a long time, they didn't used to. For the moment, there will always be Diet Coke in my life. I do still have it with water. Even my McDonald's is halved with water. If I get one, I'll usually drink it or drink it halfway and then add water. Or I'll drink it and then the refill is usually mine with the water. I don't drink a lot of, well, I drink Diet Coke like all day long, but It's halved with water, and I don't drink nearly as much Diet Coke as I used to because of it. And I do still, throw water at myself. I do still drink water as well, obviously. So I'm getting a lot of water, but I'm still very dry and dehydrated. Like, I've noticed that my body is telling me, girl, you need more water. Here's the thing about the water pills. They are a prescription. I am supposed to take them. I don't like taking them. I mean, besides the obvious reason of running back and forth, when I take them, I get Charlie horses. And that's when I'm not keto or carnivore. So when I'm keto or carnivore, those are even worse. So that's something I need to work out. I need to up the electrolytes or something to try to combat that. Because at least for now, I need that. I need those pills for now, but hopefully I won't too much longer. I mean, if I stick to carnivore / keto, I don't even know what to call what I'm doing. Low carb, carnivore, keto. I'm to the point where I don't even want to give it a name. But what I do want to do is show you guys exactly what I'm eating. And I know that sometimes those videos can be boring or repetitive, especially me. I am a creature of habit and I eat the same things over and over. But I also know that for me, I stay on track better when I know I'm popping it on a video. So for me, that's a lot better. It will help me. But I also want to be able to show you when I'm not eating on plan. If I have McDonald's, I want to be able to show that. If it's McDonald's that's not keto or carnivore or low carb. Like, again, I don't even know what to call it. But I can't picture me not cheating. There was a time when I could, but at this point, I'm struggling so much to get back on. I can't picture me being successful at it right now. Sad, but true. I want to be successful at it. I want to be hopeful. And I really want to get this weight off. And I really want to get my breathing better. Which reminds me, my daughter's doctor's appointment was with her asthma specialist. And she has lost a little weight since then. And he was really excited to see that because at her last appointment, she had gained a little bit. And while it's not excessive, she's extremely active. He said that weight loss and gain can affect the asthma and the breathing. Which explains why some days I'm more out of breath than others. And I'm huffing and puffing more. If you watch my videos on my other channel, where it's just me counting and talking, I hear my breathing really bad. And I am literally just sitting here counting and talking. Shouldn't sound like that. It just shouldn't. So that clicked with me. That made sense to me. And I have asked many of my doctors that, including my pulmonologist. And while they've said, well, weight might help, he was definite. Like, he was definite. Yes, it's going to make a difference, even a little bit. So for me, that makes sense, because when I am 12 pounds heavier from the fluids, my breathing is a lot worse. And I could walk from here to the car and be huffing and puffing and need a rescue inhaler like I'm about to kill over and die from my breathing. And the next morning, be 12 pounds lighter and be able to run to that car and not have that problem. Now, am I really running? No, but I can walk really fast to that car and not have that problem. So that's encouraging for me. It's motivating for me is probably a better word, because this could all be fixed by that, I think. I think the singing may even be fixed by that. I think the voice could be fixed by that. or at least somewhat. But knowing the breathing could be is huge. The issue with my voice, for whatever reason, is breath support. And that's what we worked on in vocal therapy, is breath support. So that's what I need to continue to work on while working on everything else. The whole point in carnivore and keto and low carb, or whatever name you want to give this, that I'm embarking on and want to do and want to be successful at, the whole point in that is not just to lose weight. That's great. That's a bonus. It's about getting healthy, and not just on the scale. Healthier skin, healthier nails, breathing, not being sick, not ending up in the emergency room or the ICU. I'm far too young for that, in my humble opinion. They had me twice in 1 year. The beginning of the year, the end of the year. I made it a whole year last year and didn't have to go. And y'all, I'm ecstatic about that. But I want to keep going. I don't want my mobility to get any worse, because if I'm being honest, it ain't that great. I can walk. I can walk. But standing still, I cannot do that very long. My legs will start getting shaky. My back will start hurting. And I feel like I'm going to fall. I've never fallen. I don't know if it's an anxious thing or if I just feel that because everything's hurting, the legs are getting shaky. Okay? But I could walk longer than I can stand. If I'm moving, I can go a lot longer than if I'm standing. So I need to make some sort of a change. I need to get more active. I know I need to do that. Now listen, I know you don't have to do that with keto or carnivore, but I need to rebuild my stamina faster. The problem is, I know I need to, my dog, but I haven't yet. And the few times I started, I wasn't consistent and I never kept doing it. And so it didn't improve. And the truth is, if I were doing something to increase my stamina, it'd probably turn around pretty quickly for me. I think once you start moving your body more and forcing it to do things it can't do, that you will do better, faster. To put this in perspective, I think my furnace is kicking on. But to put this in perspective, if I were at church, I could not stand for an entire song in one place. I used to be in the choir, guys. I used to be on the worship team. I couldn't do that. I couldn't stand at that pulpit and sing a song. Even if I had the voice and breath now, which I don't, but if I did, even so, I physically couldn't stand there for one song. Now, y'all, a song, 2.5, 3.5, 4 minutes maybe. I can't stand that long. That's just the reality of where I'm at. That's just where I'm at. To do dishes or to cook, I have a chair because I have to, because I can't stand that long. But I feel like I could push myself more than I am. What I mean by that is I could stand and cook or stand and do dishes until I physically can't. Take a break and then do it again until I physically can't. If I were doing that, I feel like I would build up stamina to where I could do those things without having to have that chair. If that chair ever leaves that kitchen, it's never coming back. Never. I feel like once you lean on something to aid you to make your life easier and more comfortable, which is what that chair has done for me, which is what the shopping carts do, the motorized carts at the store. I have to have them now. There was a time when I had to have them because of my hip. Then I got a new hip and I didn't need them. And boy, was I zooming through that store. But then it got to where it made life easier for me. I kind of needed it. It just, I was losing mobility, so I kind of needed it. And now it's to the point where I have to have it. If it isn't there, I can't shop. It's a reality. I can't. I'd have to leave the store. And that stinks. When I was younger, my mom would take me shopping. We'd go to the mall. We'd do all this fun stuff. I can't do that with my daughter because I can't walk it. And I'd love to do that with my daughter. At some point she's going to go to prom. Excuse me. And I sure want to help her buy that dress. But I can't walk that right now, and I know it. My mom and I, we would leave early in the morning, and we wouldn't be back till the stores were closed. And I can't give my daughter that same memory or experience. And it's a very fond memory. And it wasn't even that we spent a ton. We didn't. We just spent time. If we needed something, we got it. We might go grocery shopping. We might be going clothes shopping. We might be looking for an Easter dress. It was just things like that. And we'd have lunch together. And then we'd go to whatever next store. And we just had a good time. My daughter doesn't get that with me. And I hate that. And I feel like I'm cheating her. But I'm also cheating me. And I'm cheating her of those memories with me. So it's extremely important for me to fix this. The issue is I start out strong. I have all my whys. But as you go along, you're like, well, this one time it isn't going to be a problem. But then it becomes a big problem. Or you just lose your motivation. And that's happened to me before too. I'll start out real good. I'm killing it. And I lose motivation. And then I'm starting all over again. And although, like I said, I haven't really gained weight, I haven't lost weight either. And in a way, it feels like starting over. But I've got to start somewhere. And that's going to be tomorrow morning when I wake up. It is. Because it needs to be. It needed to be a month ago, to be honest. At this point, I feel like I'm just wasting time. And I don't really have time to waste because the truth is once you start losing mobility, it goes down fast, real fast. And I feel like I'm just holding on to whatever little mobility I have. I would like to be able to get a job. Inside the home, outside the home, but a job that I desire. And, my daughter's getting older. She doesn't need me at home all day. It helps when she's sick. It does. But she doesn't need that as much as she did when she was younger. And I would like to be in a position to be able to do that, to be able to help my family out. I've started an Etsy store to be able to help, an Etsy shop, to be able to help my family out. I've started this second channel in hopes of being able to help my family out. I'm selling the paparazzi jewelry in hopes of being able to help my family out. I need a purpose. I do. I need that for me, for my mental well-being. I need a purpose because otherwise I'm just sitting here getting worse. That's what it feels like to me. Like I'm just waiting to die. Because in all reality, that's where I'm headed, if I don't get this turned around. Because the mobility, the breathing, I mean, we all have signs, and there are mine. And I need to pay attention to them and not ignore them. And I know I'm looking over here instead of here. I'm sorry. I've got my phone flipped around. I did a live tonight on my Facebook page for paparazzi. And y'all had the phone flipped the other way. And I couldn't function. Oh, well, it is what it is. But, yeah. By the way, I always have my other channel and my paparazzi linked below. So if you're curious, want to check it out, you can do that. I believe my Etsy shop is also linked below. So feel free to check all that out. I really appreciate you guys' patience. I know a few subscribers have dropped off because, you know, it's been a while. I had valid reasons. I did. That's where I'm at. Again, when I wake up tomorrow morning, it's a whole new ball game. But I don't really want to give it a name. I don't want to call it low carb or keto or carnivore. Because I'm just not there yet. I haven't perfected it yet to give it a name. It's my goal. My goal is to be as low carb as possible, preferably keto, pushing into carnivore till I get to carnivore completely. But I'm not there yet. And I need you to realize there are going to be meals that are not keto, that are not carnivore, that aren't even considered low carb. While that's not my goal, I'm realistic, and my past says there's going to be those meals. But I don't want to just not show you. Because like I said, knowing I have to show you helps me. Helps me stay on track. And that's important. And it's more important right now than ever before. It really is. So look forward to those videos coming again. I'm going to try to do them every day like I was. I know, believe me, I know. Because even me, here we go again, eating the same thing. One thing I do want to start doing that I used to do before, when I was very successful at losing weight, was meal prepping. But for whatever reason, I haven't really done that much on keto or at all really on carnivore. Now, in fairness to me, prepping on carnivore is hard because they'll take that food too. Prepping with veggies is easy because they probably won't touch much of it. He won't touch any of it. So, you know, I'm a work in progress. But the point is to keep moving forward. So if you have any suggestions on how I can start to reverse my mobility issues, please comment. Like, seriously. Keep in mind, the breathing's an issue. The mobility's really, really bad. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Again, I can walk. I don't know that I could walk extremely far with being out of breath. My vocal therapist said that it's almost like I hold my breath when I'm walking. I don't feel that way. Like, I don't feel like I'm breathing wrong, but she notices. And she would be the judge of that. So, again, I don't know because I haven't pushed that. All right, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this extremely long video and made it through till the end. But again, if you have any suggestions, any meal ideas, any mobility ideas, I really would appreciate them. All right, guys, I hope you have a blessed day. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the like button. Please share. If you hit the little bell, it will notify you whenever I upload a video. All right, guys, be blessed. Bye.